What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is up? How are y'all doing tonight? Guys, it is Wednesday, and listen, we are here to talk about Ahsoka. Ahsoka has finally come. Okay, this has been a long time coming, but finally, Ahsoka is here, and we got not just one, but two episodes that have dropped. And guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am for everyone to finally get on Ahsoka, because Ahsoka has been probably one of my favorite characters in Star Wars since forever. But listen, I'm so excited. I forgot to introduce myself to the new folks. What's going on? I am E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. I will be your host today. We are here to talk about episode 1 and 2 of Ahsoka. Let me tell you right now, we are going to spoil the entire thing. So if you have not watched the episode, or if you care about spoilers, you need to leave. You got to go. This ain't the place for you, because this is for people that have already seen the episode, who don't care about spoilers. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through the episode, we're gonna react to it, give you guys can give your opinions and all of that good stuff. And I'll give you my thoughts as well. And then at the end, we'll go ahead and rate and give our rating for each episode as well. All right, that was your spoiler alert. All right, all of y'all get out of here. If you're here right now, I'm assuming you're all good, and we can get started with this. Can I just say my first impression? I posted it. If you follow me on Twitter and the rest of the socials, I already told y'all I like where this is going. I thought this was a great start, and we was getting back to basics with Star Wars. And if you could not tell by now, especially after watching episode 1 and 2, how many times have I had to tell y'all? I told y'all so many times, if you're gonna watch Star Wars, you need to watch Clone Wars, the series, and Rebels. Like that, forget the movies. Forget the movies. Okay? Forget the movies. Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels, at this point, it feels like required viewing. Now, I'm not going to say that if you haven't watched it, that you can't watch Ahsoka. I'm not going to say that, because I think you could jump into this, but I think you're going to miss a lot of context along the way. Clearly, we see all these references to the past and stuff like that. This is really just a continuation, Rebel season 5 or whatever. So, I mean, can you enjoy it? Sure. But will you really appreciate this at the maximum level if you watch those other series? Absolutely. And I would argue it's worth the time. If you feel like you're intimidated because the series have multiple seasons or whatever, this is worth it. Like, I'm telling you, forget all the other movies. You ain't got to watch not one Star Wars movie in your life. If you just go watch that series, you caught up. You're good to go. You're going to understand The Mandalorian. You're going to understand Ahsoka. You're going to understand Boba Fett. You're going to understand everything if you just watch those series. And I'm just telling you, you're going to have an even better time. But let's see who's here with us today and give some quick shout outs. Let's see. We got my man, Derek Gaines. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Ms. Harper, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. We got the talented one here. What is going on? Thank you so much for being here. My man Didier is here as well. What is up, sir? Let's see. Christy, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Trees, hello. Good to see you. Toby, what is up? How are you? 60 plus, how you doing? Corey, how you doing today? Let's see. EB, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. My man Theo is back. What is up? Tasha, good to see you again. Thank you so much. Nerdy Nurse, what is up? How are you? Who else I saw? I know people are joining right now. Donna, what is up? The homie Rhonda, how you doing? Rizzo, what's up? How are you? Daniel, I see you as well. T-Ville, what's up? My man Cal Payne, what is up? Famous Jay, good to see you, sir. Lou, what is up? Dwight, how you doing? Last of my kin, good to see you as well. Shar, good to see you. Philroy, thank you so much for being here. Kristen, I see you. Tanya, what's up? Xavier, good to see you. Mr. Hughes, how you doing? My man Sean is here. Andrew, I see you. Rebecca is here. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Let's see. We got the Mod Squad coming through. Rim17, thank you so much for being here as well. Y'all know the deal. Make sure you get those likes up. And by the way, if you want to comment just like the rest of the E-Vengers, I'm sorry, we're the E-Mandalorians in here, you can do that for free. All you got to do is subscribe. That's it, for free. You ain't got to do nothing. Just subscribe to the channel, and you too can comment and let your voice be heard as well. DJ, what is going on? Dex, I see you. My man Mike, how you doing? Quentin, what is up? Low key, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Callow, I see you as well. Let's see, Just Hooks, how you doing? And shout out to the replay gang, by the way. And Jay, what is up? How are you? Thank you all so much for being here. Let me tell you guys something. I don't know about y'all, but Chicago's in a heat wave right about now. And when I tell you, we going through it. So if you see your boy kind of just letting a little liquid out on the forehead, don't mind me. It's only 1,000 degrees right now. So, and that's with my AC. My AC is blowing at me right now, and we are dying. It is hot. Oh my gosh. It's a problem. So we're gonna try and get this going because these lights are not helping. I got these hot lights. Oh no, we got to get through this. All right, let's go through the episode. A couple of things that happened, and then of course we'll do our reactions along with it. So we start off old school style. With I like the scroll. I like the fact that they brought this back. But the big bad Galactic Empire is gone. Now we have the New Republic. But of course, you can't get rid of all evil. You're gonna have a couple sinister agents still doing their little thing. A big old bad plot is going on because Grand Admiral Thrawn is still being, his minions are still trying to bring him back. And again, and I'm going to keep reminding y'all, if you don't know who Thrawn is, that's because you haven't watched Rebels. And guess what? You need to watch Rebels. But Grand Admiral Thrawn is basically like the next big bad after the Emperor, after Darth Vader and all of that. And essentially, it's not like he's not like a Force user or anything like that. But he is like a ridiculously evil genius. Like he is a master strategist. So he knows how to conquer folks. He knows how to defeat people. He knows, he's always playing. He's playing 3D chess. Y'all might think he playing chess in advance. Okay, so like this dude is really a major problem. But you have to find out what happened to him by watching the end of Rebels. But he's gone, and they're trying to get him back. Okay, that's all this is. They're trying to get him back from his exile to keep the whole evil empire thing going. Let's see, wait. And then of course, we got Ahsoka Tano, who, if you recall from Mandalorian season 2, she was looking for Thrawn, and she found someone who might know where he could be found, and that person is who she had captured. But now that's who Morgan Elsbeth is. She transferred them to the New Republic for trial and all of that. But now she's searching for the map that she obtained from the prisoner. Now we go to the actual New Republic transport, where they find out that apparently there's some Jedi out here trying to come on board, and folks are like, Jedi? Like, ain't been no Jedi around here for like years. Like the Jedi been gone, so that already is sending off very odd signals right here. But the captain of the ship says, all right, bet, let's go see who they are. Ask for the ID. And they was like, about ID. Yeah, we ain't got no ID. This is the ID. You dead. So now they go through the whole ship, and this is almost Darth Vader style, just walking through. Nobody's touching them. And of course, they just clear out everybody. It's not even a problem. But this new Jedi shows up, takes care of the prisoner, frees her. So Morgan Elsbeth is now free, and apparently she is working with this new Jedi who I believe his name is Balin. Now, something in case you guys noticed, their lightsabers are not traditionally red like the Sith are red. They are a type of orange looking color. So I think right now Dave Filoni, who is the other half of the money team, right? So it's John Favreau who does Mandalorian, and Dave Filoni who does usually the TV series. Dave Filoni is taking care of this series right now, though. But he has come out and said that the orange lightsaber is on purpose. Now, I think hopefully later on in the show we'll find out what exactly that means. But I think right now, if we're going off of basic Star Wars logic, if you're orange, you're probably close to the dark side, but maybe not fully converted. So maybe you live on some, I don't want to say you're a gray Jedi, but you live in somewhere where like you willing to do some risky bad things, but you just not completely evil and corrupted. Maybe that's my best guess. If y'all have some better ideas about what's going on with the orange light, please let me know in the comments down below. Hold on, we got a quick question here. Hold on, our comment. My man Didier, what you got? Thrawn is the Lex Luthor of Star Wars. That is a perfect comparison. That is exactly what he is, right? Like he's not Mr. I got muscles, I got a superpower, I'm gonna be a big bad villain. No, he's just gonna outthink you. He is going to outthink you. He's gonna outplay you. And that's it, really. Like he uses his intelligence in a conniving, evil way. And to be honest with you, I kind of respect it. Like I be looking at what this dude was doing in Rebels, and I'm like, dang, man, this dude's a bad guy. Like he's like evil Batman, without all the martial arts and gadgets and white privilege and stuff. But outside of that, Thrawn is a problem, and he's a pretty good character as a villain anyway. So now the Elsbeth, she has now been set free. But we go over to Ahsoka, who is going into like this ancient temple. Again, she is looking for this map. But first, let me just say, can I just say this for a second? Rosario Dawson has to be one of the best casted people for this role. Like, I know this all started with like I think it was Boss Logic or one of the internet artists that drew her as Ahsoka Tano, and that kind of went viral and blah blah blah. When I tell you, she is perfect for this role. Like when she speaks, I'm like, that's Ahsoka. When she moves, I'm like, that's Ahsoka. Like everything about her. The shout out to the makeup department, the costumes. Rosario is perfectly cast for this role, and I love it. Like she is making me love this show 10 times more because I feel like this is a perfect example of when the fans actually get it right. Now, fans don't always get it right now. Sometimes, some fans be asking like, for some crazy, actor to play some role that they're not fit for. This is where you have the acting and the looks perfectly come together. So shout out to her. Love the fact that she is playing this role. But now she goes in, she's looking for the map. She finds the map here. And of course, this thing could lead to the location of Grand Admiral Thrawn. But of course, what's Star Wars without a nice little showdown? Of course, now she is all surrounded by these assassin droids or whatever. But hey, she a whole Jedi and a half. Okay, she knows. You see the two blades. She like, look, quick work. They all done. They getting ready to self-destruct. And by the way, like I had no idea droid self-destruction could be that big, but it was pretty big either way. So she gets on the ship, and she does end up saying that she was able to find the information from the prisoner by breaking protocol, the Jedi protocol, which kind of gives me the impression that she might have used some dirty Jedi mind tricks, because like, look, again, if you watch Clone Wars, you would notice, but she was on the path to becoming like a Jedi master and all that, but some things went down and she had to turn her back on the Jedi. Now, she didn't go evil, she just had to go her own way. She was like, look, I don't mess with y'all, I don't even trust y'all Jedi, so I'm gonna go do my own thing. But she already, now keep in mind, she was also trained by Anakin Skywalker, the greatest Jedi of them all. aka Darth Vader. So she is no joke. Okay, I just want, for the people that have not caught up yet, I'm just giving y'all a little background. Ahsoka is she is that Jedi. Okay, she is a problem, just so you understand. But she's not a conventional Jedi. She is a little outside the book and stuff. So she will do some things that, let's just say Luke Skywalker might not approve of. Okay. But anyway, as they head back to the location where the prisoner was, you could see that the ship with the other Jedi, or the bad Jedi, left. And she is now met with General Hera Syndulla, I think her name is. Again, another great character from Rebels. And the hope here is that with this map, not only could they find Thrawn, but they're hoping to also find the other lost Jedi, Ezra. However, the map is locked. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, Ezra is the main character in Rebels. Again, go watch Rebels. But he is another Jedi who, at the end of the series, went toe to toe with Thrawn, and basically him and Thrawn are both lost. Both of them are lost. We don't know where or when they are. So that right there is probably Ahsoka's like submission. Like it's kind of like the other part of her mission. Yes, we want to find Thrawn and put a stop to him, because if he comes back, the evil empire could also make a comeback, but you also want to go find Ezra as well. So that is kind of their situation. But unfortunately, the map is locked. They can't unlock it. But Hera's like, well, I mean, we do know you have this student, and this former student could definitely help. And that student was none. Well, we'll meet the student in a second here. But let me grab this comment here. Dwight, what you got? Morgan Elsbeth is Dan Inosanto's daughter. Oh, Game of Death third floor fighter. Wow, I did not know that. That is really cool. Thank you for that information. I knew she had a martial arts background. I didn't know if she was his daughter. That's pretty cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And that, I guess that makes sense too. That she did show a little bit of martial arts in the Mandalorian season 2 as well. Let's see. Oh, by the way, yeah, thank you for that. Jedi Tales. You could also watch it. I wouldn't say it's absolutely mandatory, but Jedi Tales does show pre-Ahsoka, like little baby, a little kitty Ahsoka. So you do get a little bit of extra story with watching Jedi Tales. That's also on Disney Plus. I wouldn't say that's a requirement, but it's fun. It's cool. You also get a little Count Dooku. You get a little Mace Windu, and you get a younger Yoda as well. So the Jedi Tales was pretty cool, but I wouldn't say it's absolute required watching. Thank you for that. All right, now moving forward. So the map is locked, but they got to go ahead and find Ahsoka's her old student to help. And we see here that some of the rebels are being celebrated, and again, guess what? Rebels. Yes, this is why you have to watch the show so you can understand the references. But they are being celebrated for their work against the Empire and all the stuff that they did to help free people. And they wanted to honor one of the rebels, but apparently she dipped off and she was nowhere to be found. But of course, we know where she's at. She is leaving the area. This is Sabine. Sabine, again, of one of the rebels. She is also a Mandalorian. Now, you might be asking, where's her mask and all of that and her helmet? Guess what? You need to go watch Rebels to find out why she's not wearing a helmet no more. That's another part of her history that you can go check out. But she is basically, she comes from like a high royal family within the Mandalorians. And we see here that obviously as a rebel, she don't want to be part of this celebration. We don't really know why exactly. Maybe it's too painful because Ezra, the kid right there in the middle, they are missing him. And her and Ezra were pretty close, so maybe that's just why she doesn't want to go there. But whatever, they sent the ops to go get her. But she escapes either way. Um, Once she gets home, she does go on to her voicemail and she goes ahead and sees that she got a nice little DM from Ezra a long time ago. And before any of y'all start getting nasty, no, her and Ezra did not have like a romantic relationship per se. Matter of fact, he already put her in the sister zone, like in this message. So if that was gonna happen, it don't really matter because he already was like, you like a sister to me. Oh, golly. I don't think I've heard very many men say that, but whatever. But of course, she is missing him dearly, and he apologized for not being there before going on his final mission. We move on to Morgan. She mentioned that they are standing at a place that was built by the Night Sisters of Dathomir. And in case you don't know who the Night Sisters are, guess what? You need to go watch Rebels. The Night Sisters are basically Force witches. Okay, so the witches of the Force. If you recall Darth Maul from Phantom Menace, like one of the best villains that they've ever had, Darth Maul, comes from the Night Sisters, the Night Sisters. And they have a great story. Oh my gosh, like that story right there with the Night Sisters, I loved it because it finally showed us a different group of people that mess with the Force, but like in a different way, So like that was really cool. So basically, they are Force witches, and that's just all you really need to know about them. But again, really good stuff to learn about in Clone Wars. I'm sorry, in Rebels, because they expand on their story even more, and Darth Maul too. So if you like Darth Maul and you're interested, then you'll get way more of that from them, from that show. Let's see. They also have, if you see right there in the background, there's an Inquisitor there. If you recall, we've seen an Inquisitor in the Obi-Wan series. We've seen Inquisitors before, so like now, there's some of the Inquisitors are still around, and they are hanging now with Balin and with his apprentice, old girl, Hati, I think her name is Hati. Um, But Balin goes ahead and tells her, like, yo, I need you to go find Sabine Wren in order to find the map. So he sends her off to go do that. Sabine is over there having dreams about Ezra and all this other stuff. And she gets woken because guess what? Her teacher is in town. But you can clearly see that there has been some beef between Sabine and Ahsoka. Apparently Ahsoka had been training Sabine, and one way or another, they decided to part ways. And it just did not work. But Ahsoka gets right to the point, and she's like, "Look, I can have your attention right now because I might be able to find Ezra." And that's really all Sabine wanted to know. So she brings her on board to her ship, and she basically tells her, like, yo, this was by the way, this was the same ship that they were using back in Rebels, or in between that time anyway. But it turns out that Ahsoka's been staying there for a long time, and just goes wherever she's needed. And the last time we saw Ahsoka go where she was needed, she was helping Luke build the Jedi Temple, and that was in season 2 of The Mandalorian. Now, of course, they go back and forth. They like, well, you was never around, and well, you didn't want to be trained, blah, blah, blah. They keep going back and forth, blaming each other for not being around and not caring about the other person. But Ahsoka gives her the map and says, like, yo, I know you are an artist, you know patterns, you recognize these things. You should be able to help crack this code and figure this out. All right, cool. So now Ahsoka goes in the back, and the droid was actually able to analyze the lightsabers and deduce that one of them belonged to a student, a former Jedi named Balin, and the other, lightsaber implied that he also had an apprentice. Now, this is kind of interesting because while there is a master and apprentice, this is also very similar to the Sith. The Sith, they always travel in two. So is Balin kind of practicing having a Sith apprentice, or is this his Padawan with Hattie? You know, like we don't really know because they're kind of straddling the line a little bit, you know, in terms. I mean, obviously they're leaning more evil, but they both came from obviously Jedi training. So you know, it's kind of difficult to see where exactly their philosophies lie. Now, of course, Ahsoka goes out and she finds out that Sabine had actually left and dipped off with the map. All right, we got a comment. Let me grab this. Chris, what you got? Remember in Boba Fett when Danny Trejo mentioned that sisters rode the Rancor out in the open? Oh, so it was the Night Sisters. I didn't remember that. I kind of forgot a lot of Boba Fett, so forgive me on that. But that is kind of cool if that is the case. You know, because it's always listen, I love the Night Sisters. Like I thought that their inclusion in Star Wars in general was like always fascinating. So if they were riding a Rancor, that's actually pretty dope. And probably pretty terrifying too, because if you recall, the Night Sisters were nothing to play with. Like Jedi did not want to mess with them. Nobody wanted to mess with them because they were pretty formidable on their end too. All right, let's see. So Sabine dipped. And of course, now we got Hattie on the hunt for Sabine, and this was given like some major Darth Maul vibes. Now Ahsoka is having a conversation with Hera, and Hera is basically telling her, I'm sorry, Ahsoka was complaining about how Sabine is so hard-headed and she's so stubborn. And Hera was like, oh, is that right, Kettle? You don't say. And of course, this is super ironic because if you watch Clone Wars, you would know that Ahsoka was also super hard-headed with her teacher, and the relationship, the student-teacher relationship that she had with Sabine is almost identical to that of hers and Anakin when she was being taught. So one thing here is that she's thinking about the same way Sabine kind of walked away from her. She walked away from Anakin as well. But the messed up thing here is that, you know, Ahsoka she still feels guilty. You know, she still feels guilty about what happened to Anakin because she ended up seeing that he did turn into Darth Vader, and you know, she still blames herself. She carries a lot of guilt that I don't know, maybe if she had stayed longer, maybe if she hadn't walked away, maybe Anakin would not have turned into the terror that he ended up becoming and turning over to the dark side. Meanwhile, we go to Sabine. She's cracking the code of the map, and she ends up unlocking it, and it shows the direct location of where Grand Admiral Thrawn is. However, some droids come in, they crash the party, and they steal the map and destroy all the other remaining evidence. She does try to call for backup, and she grabs her trusty lightsaber, and as she goes out, she sees Hattie waiting for her, and she's like, look, you don't want these Jedi problems. And Hattie was like, bring it. And now we finally get us a wonderful, wonderful standoff. And I like the choreography here, even though I saw some of them posing a little bit. But man, Sabine, this was not her night. No, this was not her night. She was a little rusty. Okay, she was a little rusty, hadn't been practicing, and your girl got laser shanked right there in the midsection. And right then and there, Ahsoka shows up, but it's too late. Your girl's down and out for the count. Gotta say, loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So that was episode 1 of Ahsoka. And I gotta say, like I said, I loved it. This went back to basics. We got at least 2, you know, little fight scenes. Listen, I still have not watched Andor, so I'm not gonna say nothing about bad, good, whatever. But this got my attention. This, to me, they could have left this at this episode for me. Like they could have just given us this first episode, and I would have been like, I'm good. I'm hooked. Let's go. But you know, even still, this I thought was a solid episode. So now that we're done with episode 1, y'all let me know on a scale from 0 to 10, what are y'all giving this episode just for 1? Let me know right now in the comments. I think that if I were to think about it, definitely like the action scenes. I liked how this just felt like all the classic old school Star Wars. Um, I think I'm gonna give this an 8.5. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. This was a strong, excellent start for a series. And this just really it got my attention like immediately. So I like this type of Star Wars. This is the type of Star Wars that made me a fan. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't go into Star Wars for the political stuff. I don't care. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying that's not what's gonna grab my attention. From the 70s, okay, you came out with shiny lightsabers and telekinetic, force stuff. That's all I asked for in this stuff, and they gave it to me here. I'm with it, so I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. But let's see where y'all are at. Let's see where the people are at with this one. We got an 8, 10, 10, 8, 9, 9, 8, 8.5, 8, 8, 8. Okay. 10, 8, 10, 10, 7, 8, 9, 8. Okay. 8, 9, 9, 7.5. Okay. Damn, a 6. All right. 9, 8.5, 10, 9, 9, 9, 8.8, 9, 8, 6.5. Dang, for real. All right. 8, 10, 8.6. Let's see, 7, 8. All right, cool. And another 6.5. So I think overall, we're saying that we like this episode overall. So that's cool. Okay, first of all, ma'am, now you know good and well, you ain't even seen not 2 seconds of this episode. You know good and well. Now I say this because she was already on Twitter saying she was pre-trolling. She already gave the proclamation that she was coming here just to troll. So we're not gonna count this at all. This is out of here. Uh, so please do not take that seriously at all. All right, so we got one episode down, but yo, they hit us with the double. And I am here for it. I definitely thought that was a great, smart move. And it was a good meaty episode too, like both episodes. So let's kind of get into episode 2 for Ahsoka. Let's see now. Okay, so of course we just left off. Sabine just got shanked in the midsection, but of course she's too important of a character. They're not finna let her die. So of course we see her back in the hospital. And while she's dreaming, Ahsoka can actually hear and listen to her dreams, just being extra nosy. But whatever, she a Jedi, she can do whatever she want. Yes, so Sabine is here. She's waking up. And during her dream, she was thinking about Ezra and basically recalling all of the interactions that she was having with Ahsoka as well. And so all of this stuff is kind of like, again, still on Ahsoka's mind. But Sabine ends up telling her that, these droids came in, they took the map, destroyed all the files. And of course, Ahsoka's like, dang it, like, this is why I stopped teaching your punk self, but she's like trying to leave. Sabine's like, I can help. And she was like, man, sit your tail down. You done did enough. I got this. Let the masters take over. So she heads out. Then, of course, Balin shows up with his apprentice. Now they have the map. They go back to that ancient site and they call on for Morgan to show up and figure out the map, and so they can get down to business and figure out where Thrawn is. Now Ahsoka shows up back at Sabine's place, and I really like this scene mainly because I didn't know that Jedi could potentially recreate stuff. I don't know if y'all noticed, if you listen closely, as Ahsoka was going through, she could hear like remnants of what was happening like earlier at the fight. So I'm like, yo, can they recreate a crime scene with the Force? Like, that's some wild stuff if they can do stuff like that, So I don't know if that's been proven before or not, but either way, I thought that was pretty dope. And then of course she met up this ugly looking cat, and yeah, that's when she started to get a little suspicious about what was going on. And then of course, as she gets inside, one of the droids tried, to take her out, but she was too good for that, and called her out, and was able to decapitate the droid. Now, with that, she was able to bring the head back, and now Sabine is ready to try and decrypt the droid's head to access its memories, before it, of course, self-destructs. Obviously, it doesn't self-destruct. Ain't no way they was gonna kill everybody. But she does find out where the droid came from, and apparently it was a shipyard on that very planet. So Ahsoka and Hera are kind of like, okay, well, it looks like we got to go and investigate this now. Get on our Scooby Doo investigations here. So Sabine, of course, she continues to poo poo that. Oh wait, no, not yet. Yeah. So Morgan. So I'm sorry. Morgan starts to use her witch magic, and that's where you see like some of this green fire or whatever. But this is like, again, she's a witch. They use the force in a different way. So now she is using this to access the map, and now they are able to see exactly where Grand Admiral Thrawn really is. And the one thing that was really interesting about this is that she said that Grand Admiral Thrawn was reaching out or calling out to her from across both space and time. Now, I don't want to spoil it for those of y'all that have not watched Rebels, but in both Clone Wars and in Rebels, they do play around with time a little bit. There is an aspect of time and the force that you are definitely not going to get from the movies. And they do tease this a little bit. So the fact that she was able to sit here and say that this guy was reaching out to her across both time and space, that to me was kind of like, oh, are we bringing this back? Are we going there with it? So just kind of keep that in mind, potentially for what might come later on. And then now, once they all left, Balin said here that Thrawn, when he comes back, of course, that could mean war for a lot of people. But apparently for him and his Jedi apprentice or whatever, it means, he said that it could mean that they can get power that goes beyond what people believe or whatever. And that really does beg the question of like, yo, y'all are already Jedi. Like, y'all already can do things with y'all minds that nobody else can do. What more power could y'all really fathom? What more could y'all really get at this point? So I'm just very curious now as to what it is that Balin's actually seeking through Thrawn, because I mean, like, y'all are one-man armies in your own right as a Jedi, but yet you sitting here talking about more power. Okay, all right. Anyway, so we get Ahsoka and Hera investigating the facility, and we find out that apparently some of the employees that are working there, they used to be part of the Empire as well. And I mean, even this business guy was saying that he was only loyal to his investors. And then, like, yeah, even though there are people that used to work for the Empire, they don't really care about all these politics and stuff. Yeah, all right. Anyway, so we move on. Sabine apparently is healed up. Yo, the health insurance is crazy. Okay, this is crazy. She had a hole through her whole body, and now they just patched her up like it was nothing. I'm just impressed. That's all. But she is still crying about Ahsoka leaving her and moaning about like, oh, my master don't want me. She don't want to teach me. She don't want to be my friend no more. And the android was like, man, shut up. Don't nobody want to hear all that. It's time for you to grow up and move on, because you just wasting time. And he gave her the lightsaber and was like, the only person's time that you wasting is your own. Go do your thing. So we go back and to the shipyard. We see like some of the shipments are going out. But You also see here some red droids that were used. And if you know anything about Star Wars, you know good and well that anytime you have a red or a black droid, they evil. Okay. Something bad's gonna happen. They're not good. They got to go. Okay. So clearly that was a red sign, a red flag right there. But Hera is like asking all these questions, and for whatever reason, she ain't got the security clearance, even though she's like a general. And they bring in one of the droids to explain the situation. And rather than like actually explaining things, the droid just snitched. The droid was just like, oh yeah, there was another droid here. It was on that last container, and that container is about to dip out right now, just giving all the Empire secrets away. And of course, some of the employees started to revolt because they were always ops in disguise. But of course, this is light work for Ahsoka and them. So Ahsoka tries to go chase down the shipment before they leave, or the transport. But now she is encountering the Inquisitor. Again, Inquisitors are a problem. Don't forget, they also used to be former Jedi that turned to the dark side. But now they are working against it. And boy, I love this pose. You look at Rosario. Look at her. She got into pose and everything. This was just perfect. I just love it, love it, love it. But this fight right here, I absolutely enjoyed it, loved it, thought it was really good. And I just thought that it was a good taste of what's to come. Now, I don't look at this fight as this is as good as it gets, right? I feel like these are all like warm-ups. The real fight that we're looking forward to, I think, is going to be Ahsoka versus Balin. Now, clearly, that is going to be the main event. That has to be. I'm saying it right now, early. If that ain't the best fight in this series, throw everything away. Like, what are we even doing? You got a formidable Jedi. You got Ahsoka, who is like one of the best. You better give us a great fight. You better give us a great fight. So I'm just saying, I'm looking forward to that. And by the way, look at that, man. She just got the look like I'm ready to take y'all out. And if this was not one of the coolest moments, when the Inquisitor was looking for his lightsaber, and then Ahsoka just kind of leaned to the side. I'm telling you, Rosario is too cool with this role. Like, she understood the assignment, and she is still doing the thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hold on, we got a comment. What's this here? Marriage, what you got? She still didn't call Ahsoka master in those last scenes. This is true. This is true. Now, she did call her, Ahsoka did call her Padawan. So I would not be surprised if, somewhere down the line, she gets that, she'll say it, and it'll just mean more later. So I'm pretty sure they're just, building it up for something like that. But let's see what else. Okay, so the Inquisitor got away. Now, meanwhile, Hera, she was out there going after the transporter. Luckily, she was able to put a tracking beacon device on it before they went off into hyperdrive. And Sabine, now that she's all fully healed up, she went out, pulled out the old Mandalorian armor. She's getting back into business, even got her helmet. She's getting right back into it. And then she decided to do the thing that all heroes like to do right before they put the game face on, and give themselves their own haircut. Apparently they just couldn't, I don't know, find a stylist or whatever. So whatever, it's fine. Now, of course, we see that the other business guy and all the other employees are now going to jail or prison or whatever. And Sabine is calling in for duty. She is reporting in, letting her know, like, yo, I'm ready. And let me ask y'all this, because I don't know. Now, I understand how you can cut your hair. Y'all ladies, tell me, is there any way that you can go from this to this by yourself? Like, hold on, let's look at the back. You see the back of the hair? I'm just saying, it looked like she got some layers on his. It looked like she had a couple layers, and I'm like, you got all that with that rusty knife? You did all that in one swoop? Is it? I don't have long hair. So I'm just wondering, ladies, y'all let me know. Is this possible? Can you do that in one cut, one swipe, just like that? I don't know. Anyway, so of course, back to Rebels. They recreate the final scene in Rebels, or one of the final scenes where now Sabine meets up with her master, Ahsoka, and now they're on their journey to go find Ezra. Once again, go watch Rebels. And then, of course, we go back to the bad guys, and they are basically, getting ready to find Thrawn and get ready and get set. And Morgan asked Balin, like, yo, like, what do you see? Because apparently, Balin has like the force ability of foresight. And he was like, look, the future's a little murky, but I know one thing. Ahsoka, she bought that business. She wants all the smoke, and that is something we cannot deny. So that was it for episode 2 of Ahsoka. Guys, I have got to say, the combination, because I'm going to treat these, even though we're going to rate it. Actually, let's do that first. Y'all tell me, for episode 2, just episode 2, what do you give this as a rating on a scale from 0 to 10? Let me know for just episode 2, okay? Now, I'll say this. I definitely like the oh, did I? Hold on, Diddy, what you got? Chip. I'm sorry. Chopper. I forgot Chopper. I'm sorry. I should have shown Chopper. I don't know what happened to the image. But yes, Chopper was also there. And for those of y'all that don't know, well, go watch Rebels. But he's just a fun side character that is part of the family. Let's just say that. Let's see. So for episode 2, I don't think episode 2 was as strong as episode 1, but I still really, or maybe it was, well, I like the fight. The episode was a little shorter. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I don't care. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I had a good time with this. Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, yo, I don't feel like overly critical. I'm not sitting here feeling like, oh, well, y'all didn't do this and y'all did. Like, I'm having a good time, which is what we want from these shows. Now, nothing in this blew me away, but I still had a really good time, and I'm looking forward to what happens next. So I'm here for it. So I'm gonna give both episodes an 8.5 out of 10. Let's see. Derek, you gave it a 19. I think you like this. I think you like it. All right, 9, 10, 9. Let's see, 9, 7.5, 8.5, 8, 9, 9.5, 8, 10, 8.5. Let's see, 10, 8, 9, 8.7, 8, 8.5, 8.5, 10, 9, 10, 8, 8, 8.5. Who else we got? Let's see, 8.5, 7, 10, 8.99, 8, 8, 8.5, 8.8. Ma'am, go to sleep. Go to bed. Go to bed. No. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna ignore that one. Thank you, though. Thank you. We're gonna ignore it, but thank you. 8, 8, 6, 8.72, 9. Who else we got? 8.5, 7.5. Overall, let's see, 9, 8.5, 10, 8.5. Who else we got? 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right, guys. So I think it's safe to say that we enjoyed it, right? We enjoyed this other episode overall, and I think that was a pretty good kickoff to this series. So I gotta say, shout out to Star Wars. Once again, this is what made me a fan of the franchise. I remember I came in, I watched the episodes, and I was just kind of like, I watched the movies, and I was like, they all right. That was cool here and there. Some of them were terrible. But it was the series that put me on. It was the series that was like, oh, now I get it. Oh, now I'm a fan. And this series right here, it's tapping right into those vibes. Again, shout out to the other half of the money team, Dave Filoni. This guy gets it. This guy knows what he's doing. He really understands it. He's like, I don't know if Kevin Feige was split in half, like this dude, give him the keys. Okay. If Dave Filoni wants something, y'all let that man cook. Don't let nobody interfere with him. Okay. Cause this dude is going to give y'all straight gold every time. Anyway, that's all, guys. I really appreciate it. How many, do we know how many episodes? I thought it was 8 or 10. Don't quote me on that. Let's see. Let's Google. How many Ahsoka episodes? 8 episodes. Woo! Okay. It's only 8. Listen. Now, this is not a diss to other people out there. And I'm not dissing my colleagues in the critic world, but I am not getting my hopes up with these series. I am, as you can see, we are sitting here talking about each individual episode. For all we know, and I pray this is not the case, Ahsoka could be trash. We don't know. So I'll be seeing a lot of people sitting here talking about Ahsoka's the best show ever, and this is the great. I'm like, look, maybe it is. I don't know yet. I know I like these first 2 episodes, but I've been here before. I've been here before with Secret Invasion. I've been here before with Mandalorian season 3. I've been here before with Boba Fett. I've seen good starts before. If Ahsoka can carry this same energy all the way to the finale, now we in business. So I'm not going to be sitting here talking about trying to overhype this thing, talking about it's the greatest thing ever, because I'm like, I need y'all to stick the landing. And if all you have are 8 episodes, that's it. I haven't seen a great track record with that. We saw with Obi-Wan, 8 episodes wasn't it. It did not help. Now, Dave Filoni is in charge, so that could be the secret sauce that was missing. But I'm just saying, I want to wait to see what this series has. And right now, y'all have my attention. I'm a little nervous with 8 episodes, but I'm going to trust Dave Filoni here. Anyway. All right, guys, that is my take on Ahsoka. We will be here next Wednesday. I think if they show on Tuesdays at 9 Eastern, we will be back here the next day. So I'm giving y'all 24 hours to like watch it, and we'll react on Wednesday night. Because I don't know if this is going to intersect with Loki at all, but I don't think so. I think we'll be all right. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Make sure you stay tuned. On Friday, we're gonna meet up. We're gonna do our live chit chat, have a good time, talk about the news and all that. Yeah, that's it. So make sure y'all have a great rest of your week. Wash your hands, wash your butts, have a good time. I will see y'all Friday, and then see y'all next week on top of that. All right, peace.